Okay, I'll begin. Thank you for taking the time to allow me to do this very brief presentation and explain a little bit about what is happening. I will start by saying that the Louis Riel School Division has a very strong conviction that we are citizens of the globe and that all of us have a responsibility to play in making this a better world. With that kind of thinking, we started exchange programs many years ago, over 30 years ago, and we've had the good fortune in the last 10 years to expand our offerings to include 8 different countries. Each year, we select students to participate in these exchange programs. These are what we call a true exchange program, in that an individual from the other country comes and lives with you in your home for a period of time. Then you go to the other country and live in their home for a period of time. Now, each of these programs are somewhat unique, and each one has a little bit of a twist or a difference. The program with Italy has been running now for 6 years. And with Italy, typically what happens is that we start the program off by going to visit Italy in March, normally, and we stay there for 3 weeks. Then we return back to Winnipeg, and the following September, the crew from Italy comes and stays with us. So there's a difference of a period of time in there, but everybody gets to reconnect back in Canada. This year, what happened was a bit of a response to what was going on with the pandemic. Once the school division, our school division, opened us back up to exchange programs, we were able to announce that we were back in business. The Italian teachers and principals were very happy about that, and they responded with very favorable, "We are so looking forward to coming to see you, and wonderful, this is great." And then they also said, "We'll be there September 15th. And I was rather surprised to find out that they had already booked their tickets, paid their fares, and were planning to come to Winnipeg for this September. I was under the assumption we would be proceeding as normal, but again, with the pandemic, I don't know if there is a normal anymore. So we ended up with the announcement that we have 15 students, which is now 12 students. We have 12 students that have paid for the tickets, and they'll be arriving in Winnipeg September 15th, and they'll be staying till September 27th. So they're staying for, or 29th, sorry, they're staying for just 2 weeks. And in those 2 weeks, when they come here, they live at your house, and they go to school with you, and they participate in the classes that you are participating in. And at the end of the day, they become your responsibility, and you can show them around, do what you normally do, take them out with friends, do what you're going to do. And what we do at our end is we plan a couple of evenings where we all get together and treat you to, I don't know, dinner out somewhere. Usually end up at Boston Pizza, so I don't know why, but we usually end up somewhere. And their 2 teachers will be with them the whole time, which is a little bit different than our program. Our program, we send you, and well, actually, I'll take you along with another person, maybe if I can talk your principal into coming. Myself and another person will take you to Italy, where you'll spend 3 weeks with them, and then you'll come home. When we go to Italy, we have a nice sort of entry, because the flights work from Winnipeg to Toronto to Rome, and then we will spend a few days in Rome. It's nice to not have to travel again as soon as you arrive in a foreign country. So we spend a few days in Rome. We stay in a hotel that is right by the Colosseum, called the Forum Hotel. And from there, we do some sightseeing. We go up and see the Trevi Fountain. We see some of the sites that you can only find in picture books, really. And then we'll also spend part of one day at the Vatican, going through the very famous church and looking at the collections and really impressive kinds of stuff. Then we get on a plane the following day, and we fly over to called Bari, Bari to me because I don't speak Italian, Bari. And right beside Bari is Molfetta. And it's, if you want to imagine Italy as the boot, the big shape of the boot, Molfetta is located right on the heel. And it's right on the ocean, right on the Adriatic Sea, if you will. And on the Adriatic Sea, the water is this aquamarine, perfect blue color. It's cold, but it's nice. And it's a picture book kind of area to live in. The city itself is not a huge city. It's around 10 to 15,000 people, depending on how and where you set the boundaries. And their school is a little bit different too. So school in Italy starts at 8:30 in the morning, but it's finished at 1 o'clock. So they go early-ish, and then they finish quite early. They have the afternoons for doing other things, sports, entertainment, hanging around, and sleeping, because it seems to be that a nap in Italy is quite appropriate for almost everyone. And they do that. It's a culinary arts school in addition to a regular school. So they also teach cooking, and they have chefs there. They've won lots of awards and prizes for their cooking and the classes that they run. They also, at the school, there's a culinary arts portion, which involves maitre d', so how to do proper table service, how to serve different dishes, how to serve different stemware, glassware, and stuff for different types of beverages. And they have a school in that too. So the school is different than Glen Lawn. It's similar in size to Glen Lawn, but it's made entirely out of marble, which I don't know if Glen Lawn has much marble left. But it has this beautiful marble facade, and it looks fantastic from the outside, but Glen Lawn would be a much better equipped school than what they have. They seem to be able to get by with the bare essentials of education compared to what we are lucky with and are fortunate to be with. So that's the outline of the program, that students come and stay with you for a couple of weeks. You go over there, stay there for 3 weeks, and then you probably want to know the details. So the details, which is most important, especially probably your parents, is how much does this cost? Well, because we do it through the school division and we are part of the international student program, we take some of the profits that we make from the international student program and put it into the exchange program opportunities. So we can do this program for charging the price of the airfare. So the airfare, usually we can predict it's going to be around, $1,600, $1,700. This year, I'm guessing it's going to be around $2,000 because of, well, again, back to the pandemic. So I think it's going to be somewhere in the area of $2,000. As soon as I know, I can share that with everyone. The only other charge we have for you is there's a small charge for your health insurance, because we have to have a very specific health insurance. And that usually costs somewhere around $30, $35. You need some spending money because life is more fun when you have spending money. And other than that, everything else is covered, including your hotels. And as I said, your secondary travel includes the taxis and all the other things that we get into. Well, and entrance into different places. All of that is covered by the school division. So count on approximately $2,000 for the flight and then a little bit more. Now we have 12. We always do a matching. So however many students come from the other countries, how many we send, or however many we send, that's how many they match. So in this case, we have 12 going to Italy. And it looks, just by going down the list here of people that I can see, there may be more than 12 people just from Glen Lawn. This program is available to all students in Louis-Riel School Division. So the way we choose students is it would never be me choosing students. I don't know you, and I wouldn't ever want this responsibility, but your principal does. Your principal knows you, and she has the wonderful responsibility of picking who from your school gets to go. So the way that works is you kind of, and your school principal might be wondering what I'm saying this for, but basically the way I think this should work is that if you email me and say that you're interested, I will send you the application package, and you complete the application package, scan it or take a picture of it, whatever you want, send it back to me. I'll make sure that it's complete. Then I send them to your principal, and your principal will pick who gets to go. So that brings me to the next part of this, and that is that if you don't get to go, I don't want you to be too disappointed, because there are 6 other countries that we will be planning to send students to. You've already shown interest just by having to listen to me now, so that should count for something. And what we do is we do the identical types of programs, although they vary in lengths and places, and you would have an opportunity to be part of that. The other places that we go are Germany, in Hamburg. We have a school in Hamburg that we've been doing this program exchange with for 10 years. And it's a fantastic port city of about 5 million people. Hamburg has this beautiful river that runs through it, and the Elbe River, and it's a great place to be. We also have a school in Japan that you may have heard of, Meitoku. That's a longtime partner with the L'Oreal School Division. We've been with them for over 32 years, and we've been sending students back and forth. Now, with that program, you don't have to host anybody in your home. In that, those students come here and spend a year here. So there's Meitoku students in your school right now, and there'll be new students, or no, they'd actually be the same students because they come in February and stay till February. So yes, they'll be also there in September, but you could go to their school. Now, their school is in Japan, obviously. It's a little bit longer of a program. It's 10 weeks, between 10 and 12 weeks, whatever we work out. The price is still the same. It's whatever the airfare is. And you stay in the school dormitories. So that is a really interesting and exceptional opportunity. We used to do the same thing with China, but China is kind of closed for us right now. As you know, geopolitical situations go, there is always change. We also have schools in Spain. We have schools in France. We have schools in Mexico, believe it or not, in Puerto Vallarta, which is a beautiful place. We have a total then for 7 different countries that we will be sending students to this year, including France. And in France, we are in Grenoble, which is Grenoble, because I don't speak French either. So we have schools there too that we'll be sending students to. I'll be coming to your school in September, and I'll be doing a formal presentation with nice slides and you know, beautiful PowerPoint, if there's such a thing. And it'll be an opportunity for you then if you don't get into the program that we have with Italy right now. So remember, Germany, Spain, Chile, Japan, France, and Mexico are all possibilities for you as well. I talk too much, I know. Dion, can you help me out? What else do people need to know?
I think that certainly covered the cost was one of the questions. Hosting the requirements in the home, whether there's requirements in the actual your house, really, like do they have to have their own bedroom or that shared spaces? Does that matter? That was another question. I can look through the other questions while you answer that one.
Okay, sure. When we host students from other countries for the International Student Program, one of the requirements is that they have to have a separate bedroom. That is not the case with exchange programs. It's quite typical that you share your room with somebody else from the other country. The other thing that's kind of interesting is that, well, you can't share your room with somebody who isn't of the same sex as you. I guess that's a thing. But you can certainly, if you have another or spare bedroom, the person can be of the opposite sex. Not trying to say there's only 2 things there. But it's very common in Europe. People are very surprised that we sometimes say, oh, girls go with girls, boys go with boys. That's not the case in Europe very often. But again, obviously, we wouldn't have people staying in the same bedroom. What was the first question?
No, that was it. The next question would be, do the host families speak English when our kids go to them? And how much English is a kid speaking when they come to us? So where's the language, like how far down the continuum is the language barrier?
Yeah, that's a great question. They speak a lot better English than we speak Italian. English is a mandatory subject in Italy, and especially at this school, because a lot of people would be working in the service industry if they follow through with their dreams. So their English is ranges from, well, pretty good, like, you know, same kind of conversation we're having, to you have to speak a little bit slower, and normally they get it. We don't normally have a barrier that way. Some of the homestay families, however, will only be able to speak Italian, but the teachers, the two teachers who will be coming here, they'll pair you up, or they'll make their plans so that if a student is fairly, or is a high level, then they wouldn't mind putting you with parents that don't speak much. But a lot of parents speak quite a bit of English. The teachers at the school, for the most part, speak English.
Okay, perfect. One of the questions in the chat was, is COVID a concern, or is there vaccinations, I guess? And then, do the kids stay in the Italian host homes? That one is yes. Judy, they do stay in the homes of the children for Italy. And then I'm not sure about COVID. Do you know anything more about that?
Well, Italy, like, they had their major attacks, or their huge uptake before we did. So when the pandemic really broke out, that was one of the hot spots right away it broke out with. So this pandemic has kind of circled the globe. It's gone through every of the countries. They have the full vaccination routes that we did. All of their students are vaccinated, and or 96% of this program, all of the students are vaccinated, and their numbers probably would be the same as ours. I had the opportunity. I was in Europe last week and 2 weeks ago, and it kind of looks like here. There's some people who are wearing masks, perhaps they're at a grocery store or something like that, but a lot of people who aren't wearing masks.
Okay. So one of the other questions that I guess is a question as well of mine is, so typically we would go there first and the kids would come back. So this is the opposite way. So are we flipping it now that they come to us and then we go in March? And then it'll always be like that now that we sort of missed a rotation there? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I certainly know what you're saying. Yeah. I think we're going to try and return to our regularly scheduled routines. This was a one-off just because they interpreted that they could come right away, whereas, and they had people who were already interested and ready to go. It catches us by, yeah.
So then in March, would we be sending our however many we have from Glenlawn, let's just say 6, I'm making this up so nobody panic, but 6 came to Glenlawn families. Our 6 would go back in March, plus a new group that we would host in September?
Yeah, that's what we're looking at.
Okay.
Probably a little bit different dates though.
Okay.
We would do it as one. Yeah.
As one group. Okay, makes sense. Okay. What do they go to Italy? I'm not. Did you say which dates would be going in March? Like when we would go to Italy?
I'm looking at a tentative schedule, and they're getting back to me on different things because of cooking competitions, which we have to put in. But right now, I am starting with the idea of leaving here in April 22nd of 2023 and returning on May 14th of 2023.
Okay, thank you. The next, do you need a parent chaperone? No, Randy. Then other question was, how are we vetting? How do we get vetted, number one, and how do they get vetted? Do our homes have to have criminal record child abuse, and do their homes have to have that, or how are the homes vetted?
Exactly that. We do that, and we also, if a family has the parents in the family, anybody over 18 requires the child abuse registry and the criminal record check. And we pay for that.
Okay, perfect. The application form, I guess you can send that to me maybe, and then I'll send it out to the team that's here. Is that how you want to do this, Al?
Sure, whichever way works best for you, because I know that I'm squishing this into your graduation and you've got so many things going on, but whatever way you prefer.
Yeah, I can email the group again, I think, or if it's a link, you can throw it in the chat, I suppose. But I'm going to send out the recording in it to the group anyways, the ones that have expressed interest. So if your child is not selected for this one, can they go in grade 12? So we will know a lot more about that in the fall when we do the rest of the countries, as well as then vetting our like just getting the list for the following year. So might be part of, like, for example, going on the Italy trip that starts the other way around, like in March, and then hosting in his grade 12 year.
Right.
So that could potentially happen. I think that answers right, Al?
That's completely right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
When are the other countries, Judy? We'll find all that out in the fall in terms of, but if you can answer that quickly, I don't know what months all the rest of the countries go in, but that'll be a different session in the fall.
Yeah, unfortunately, we haven't got all those dates ready, but I know that for Japan, for example, that starts in February,
Okay.
right at the end of the first term. So we try not to impact the first term. We try to make sure that it mostly takes place in the second term. The school has been absolutely great, and I thank them again, because when they know which students are going to be traveling, they have an opportunity early enough to take a look at the academic challenges that may happen for some people, and sometimes are able to assist us to make some good choices. So Glen Lawn has been wonderful to work with and to be able to help out with students all the time. It's been great. Yeah.
Thanks. It's all of LRSD is grade 11 and 12 students going into grade 11 and 12 next year. So these programs are for everyone, not just Glen Lawn. That's why we have to sort of, everybody kind of gets a little piece of the pie in terms of these opportunities. So it's a full school division thing.
Yeah, we've even in grade 10 as well, in that people can apply. We haven't taken as many grade 10s, but like only a couple. But we are kind of opening it up, and we want to be as inclusive as we can allow, of course, rather than exclusive.
Yeah, and then other question is, can kids indicate their country of preference in the fall? Yes, well, I think when we've done the applications before, there has been a preference of the countries you want to go to. If I'm correct, Al, in previous years. In this right now, we're not doing that. It's just because we're in a bit of a rush for this one. But in the fall, I think that's how it'll work.
Exactly. That sounds good. Yeah.
Okay. Someone didn't know about this session. Could I forward them the application if they're interested in their child? Yep, you can. We can, and the recording I'll have up as at the by tomorrow morning as well, so that can go on to someone, or they can give the school a call. Application deadline. I'm not sure, Al. When's the application deadline?
For people's sanity and for yours, I would like to get this done as soon as possible. I'm working during the summer, not the first week, but the rest of the summer I'm working, so I can answer questions and respond to people that way. But I would think that you would want it, Dion, as soon as you can get it, like Wednesday at 4 o'clock or something. I hate doing that, but with there is an urgency here to get this squared away before summer.
So I'll indicate that when I email out the application form, but yes, that we will be within days, not weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, please.
Okay, next question. Are there final criteria on how students are selected? We'll have to go through, I can't really say exactly on that yet. We will see how many there are, how many spots Glen Lawn can take, I guess, in that. In their, out of those 12 students that are coming, I don't know how they're divvied, like how many other schools have interest. And then we will look at how many we have and go from there. I would assume that those that are the oldest and may not have another opportunity will be part of it, whereas say some of the younger ones might have a second opportunity. But we also have to look at the other factors in terms of what else they're involved in in terms of here at school. So we'll take a look at that. Is there a deposit?
In previous applications, we have asked that students attach a letter indicating their experience with leadership at the school or in the community, other ways you've been involved in your school or in the community, your experiences in getting along with others through groups and teamworks, why you think you'd be a good candidate. And then we've also have this little note here. It says, please note any health issues, including allergies, which may hinder your ability to fully participate in the program. We're not looking for minor things. If you have hay fever or whatever, allergic to a cat or a dog might be good information though for being placed in a home, but it certainly wouldn't limit it. Ones we're looking for are really serious ones. We've had a student who had a fish allergy that wanted to go to Japan. It was a very serious fish allergy. Obviously, we had to make a very tough decision, but we made a decision that you can't travel to Japan with a fish allergy, as awful as that sounds. But not being able to speak the language in an emergency could be life-threatening. So we have made a couple of decisions that way in the past. Not as we don't want to make them, but we have to. So that would be the only real consideration, is if something turns out to be kind of like a life-threatening thing, then maybe this isn't the best fit.
Okay. Is there a deposit due with the application? Is there... No. Okay.
No, we haven't done that in the past.
Any other question? I think I've answered them all in the chat. Okay, if there's other ones, of course, you can email myself or Al, and I will get out the application as soon as I can. He'll forward it to me. I am going straight from here to the grad dinner, but I will try to get that out to the group as soon as I can, and then we will go from there. Will the selection process be influenced by students' marks? What it may be influenced on is their ability, if there's short credits, if we're in places where we need kids need to be in. This is a short version, so a couple weeks is not going to make or break anybody's academic performance. But some of the other trips, depending on how long they are, if we're short of credits and we're trying to graduate folks, it may limit it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've always just said we don't want to interfere with anybody's opportunity for graduation.
Mm-hmm. Marks are not an indicator on personal skill set or attitude necessarily.
Not a worry at all.
Okay, I think that's all that we have at the moment. And so I will, follow it up with an email. And thank you so much for this interest. This is amazing to have this many people that want to be engaged in this as we're getting back into this process of doing exchanges. I think it's an amazing opportunity for kids to be able to travel the world in a very safe and kind of looked after manner. Al and his team have done an amazing job over the years of doing these. So any last words for you, Al?
No, I thank you very much for saying that, and I certainly invite people to participate in this if they can, if it works out. Like was said, I'm lucky to have been doing this for a long time now, and I'm proud of what the school division has done to be investing in people's futures in such a way.
Perfect. Okay, well, enjoy the rest of your afternoon, everyone, and you'll get an email from me soon.
Great. And my email Dion, you'll have my email posted, right?
Yeah, I threw it in the chat once, but I'll include you in the email out to the group as well.
Thank you very much.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.